Yeah, I hope we are live.
Yes, we are live.
Okay.
Um,
Hey.
mhm.
Hi, hi everyone. I am Karan Garg. Thank you so much for joining in with us. Today I have Hargun with me, and today we'll be discussing about one of the most prestigious fellowship, MLH fellowship. So I'll let Hargun introduce herself, and then we'll get on to the part of the fellowship. So welcome, Hargun. Please introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, I'm Hargun Kaur and I'm currently SW intern at Microsoft. I have been SW intern at GitHub USA team and I have been like twice MLH fellowship holder and like I am also been a part of Microsoft Engage fellowships and GSC scholar. So yeah, that's about me and I'm pretty happy to interact with you all. So feel free to drop your doubts in comment section.
Nice. Seems like you have done lot of fellowships and internship. That's good. So
Yes, I have.
nice. Jumping to the MLH fellowship, would you like to tell us what
Mhm.
MLH fellowship is? And yeah,
Okay.
let's start with the
So starting.
introduction.
Mhm. Cool. So just starting with the thing like what MLH is. MLH is basically it's a major league hacking community where we like empower students with the resources and all the things. Then MLH fellowships were introduced just for the students. It's a kind of internship alternative. Like you can do this. You will get a learning experience same as you do in internships. You will be working like you will be having the live things. You will be having like pod meetups, stand-ups, and retrospectives. Everything would be there. It's just like that you have the practical knowledge and the practical experience. So that's why what MLH fellowships were launched for, and it is. So a lot of students apply for it from the globe. It's not restricted to India only. It's everyone can apply. It has a later eligibility like you should be 18 above. You should be having internet connections. It's completely remote, so you don't need to
Okay.
worry like you live anywhere or so. And there will be a couple of other eligibilities which mostly fits. I think there will be some age limit only because they will be providing you some a huge stipend for that. They require a
Okay.
age limit and the
I
stipend would
think
be around like 5,000 USD.
okay. So I think even the stipend, the part when you said like huge stipend made me excited about it. So
Yeah,
that's good.
yes.
And 5,000 is definitely a very big amount, especially when you are a student. And when you get that money along with doing good production kind of project
Yeah,
in a real industrial environment. So like you
yeah,
said, uh, basically sprint planning, retrospective meetings, daily stand-ups and all, and you don't
yeah.
get to do that in a college, or you don't get to do all exposed to that kind of things in college. So I think it's a very good opportunity to understand how industry works, how do you work in a team. So
Yeah,
seems like a very
exactly.
good.
And the companies coming in MLH fellowships, they are like AWS, like
Okay.
Facebook, which is now
Okay.
Meta. And then I think so there are some projects from Google and some from GitHub also. They're like having couple
Oh,
of projects
nice.
from Adobe. Like, they have like best companies and like tech giants and all. And they bring
Okay.
projects from them where we contribute. So it's kind of
Okay.
we are contributing in these companies.
Okay, so do you directly work with the team in these companies, or like you work with the MLH team and then they interact with these? Like, is there a bridge between two, or you directly work with these companies?
So there are three types of fellowships currently.
Okay.
There is also a fourth one. I don't know. Like it is currently now. That was a pre-fellowship one. In
Okay.
pre-fellowships, where they focus at is like you get a practical knowledge, like how industry works. They will be having your daily stand-ups, hackathons, and project building, portfolio building, everything. Like
Okay.
for this particular thing, this would be like a 4 month 4 weeks plan which I had. Then there was one prep one there where you will be contributing in a project given by MLH. So the project would be as kind of a short project. It would not be a long scale project or large projects. And this may not have a stipend. Like this offers like goodies, swags and all, this track.
Okay.
Then there
So
is the other.
what is the name of this track? Sorry to interrupt in between. And what is the
Okay,
name of this
so
track that you just said?
okay, so this track was the prep track. And there was one before which I personally participated, was the pre-fellowship one. It was known before Explorer track, right?
Okay.
In this
Okay.
particular track, you have hackathons, you have like projects and all. And the persons, like the beginners who get selected in this particular pre-fellowships and prep
Okay.
batch, they when they apply for full-time fellowships,
Okay.
like
Okay.
we have this term like full-time fellowships. When they apply for this, they are preferred than the other candidates who are not attended these prep or pre-fellowship programs. So
Okay.
the full-time fellowships are those fellowships where we get a stipend, and we are working with the companies itself, like which I name like Meta and all. So
Okay. And are there
mhm,
different tracks, full-time tracks as well, or there are only two type of tracks? Like you said,
there
pre-fellowship
are
and then
two
fellowship.
different tracks. I think so.
Okay.
There are three different tracks in full-time fellowships. One is production engineering, which is not for India, and that's actually for little more exposure to the production side. Then there was two tracks which Indian candidates can apply for. The first
Okay.
one is the open source track, right?
Okay.
So what happens there? Like you will be connecting with the open source maintainers of these companies, and you will be contributing to those directly
Okay.
under them. So
Okay.
the projects would be like open source. You will be having a pod leader who would be like a kind of your buddy. So
Okay.
this is how it works, and you will be getting a stipend. Like it would be around maybe around like 1,000 USD, or
Okay.
like for India. For India, it's parity something. So it becomes like 1,000 USD, but otherwise it's kind, you will be getting a complete stipend of some 1,000 USDs, or to around 2,000 or 2,500 USD, uh,
Okay.
when you come in two steps.
Payments.
So
Okay.
yeah, in
Okay.
two payments you
So
will be getting that.
So
And
basically, what you said about the open sources, what you will be doing is, as a open source in the open source track, you will interact with these companies, the companies that you named earlier. People
yeah,
from you will be assigned a buddy, which I think is a very good way of knowing about the company, interacting with the people inside the
yeah,
company,
it is kind of
and
a help from MLH.
correct, correct. And then, moreover, what you will be doing is you will be contributing to your to open source, which will in turn make your profile better for
Yeah,
future. And
and the
in fact,
projects would be those great projects where there will be a lot of pull requests, but your pull request would be getting selected because you have contributed with
okay.
MLH. I have
Oh,
like
nice.
interacted with one of the Facebook person. He maintains Docosaurus. So
Okay.
when I interacted with them, so they told me about this, like how we accept pull requests now. So this is how
Okay.
they work.
So
So
basically, what
then,
you're saying is, apart from getting all the money, all the learning, you'll be building on a project that is used by millions of users, millions of
yeah,
products, and you will be getting a priority service in getting your pull request merged as well. So
merged and all.
seems like a treat to me.
It is indeed the like treat.
Okay. And what about the second program that you were mentioning? I think
Okay,
that
so the
was
last one was like you will be having an internship, right?
okay.
It was like the program, like MLH program, recently got powered by GitHub. So GitHub is regularly does not have like internships and all, right? It gives you the full time roles. Some of them are remote and some of them are like on office roles. So
Okay.
what happens is you will be interning at GitHub USA itself. Like I was interning at GitHub North Carolina with the team itself.
Okay.
I was having a buddy, right? So the issues and everything was like assigned to me with by GitHub, and I was having an EM, and every team every team member possible, we were having like sync up meetings with the GitHub hangout meetings and everything. Like it was a normal internship we have.
Okay.
And it's just you have to report to your buddy like which issues were given by those by the EM of the GitHub. Were you
Okay.
able to do those? It's how like MLH plays a role in this.
Okay. Understood. So basically,
Mhm.
if I relate it with the
And
all the work that I've been doing, it clearly seems like and sounds like what I'm doing in my full time job as well. So
yeah,
effectively, it's a
it
full
is.
time job. It's not a fellowship. If it's not outsider fellowship, MLH is nothing but it's a connection between you and a very good company. right?
Yeah, it is. It is. So
Okay.
I was getting like 5,000 USD for this particular track. Like this is a software
Okay.
engineering track, so it was having like all the people in the globe,
Okay.
and it is actually open to like professionals. You will be the age groups would be like 9 to 35, or maybe like it's open to all. The age doesn't
Oh,
matter. If
nice.
you are 18 above, that's okay. You can go for it.
Nice, nice. Basically, what you're saying
Mhm.
is it is open for students, professionals, and everybody. If
Yeah, it
I
is.
think if I relate it with the kind of questions that I regularly get, uh, people, it can be very beneficial for people from service-based companies who want to jump into a good product-based company. This can be a good
Yeah,
way of going into that,
it
right?
is
It will
like,
build your profile, it
yeah.
will interact, it will build your network. Everything will happen.
Yeah, because a lot of candidates I knew was switching their fields. Like one was a mother who was having a baby, and she wants to like switch between a like her foster children role to like this one. So
Nice,
this was a role, and they also like offer PPOs and all.
nice.
So what
Okay,
happened with me was I was the youngest one. Like I when I did, I was in like third year starting. So it was like the fifth sem, maybe like, yeah, it was a fifth sem. So obviously if I get a people, like what the GitHub would be doing with that. So it was like
okay,
whoever was in fourth year, they were or above, like in a verge of graduation, they were getting a PPO offer. So what I got was I got a refill like whenever I want to apply for a GitHub, right? So I can do
okay,
that because I know the EMs and all, and I am having already a referral from them. So it's just I
okay,
will be getting a small interview, and the interview would be like some kind of API work
okay,
and a little bit of DSA. And for a boon like MLH, what does MLH does? It also prepares you for these type of interviews. Like we were prepared
okay,
for these interviews, everyone who was in the team,
okay. Nice.
whether it's tech
So,
interview, whether it's API one.
okay, understood. So, moving on to the actual the next step of the of our meeting or slash this live. So, I'll
Mm-hmm.
ask you, I'll request you to share the application process or the detail about the application process. I think we have gotten a very good information about what MLH is, what kind of opportunities does MLH open once you are there, and this kind of money that you get. But let's say if I have to get into MLH, what do I need to do? It's
Okay.
so
So a
if
lot of
possible.
people think like, hmm, cool.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
a lot of people
Please go.
think like for different tracks, the application process is different. I would say
Okay,
like for every track, the application process is same. You have to give your
okay,
100% first of all, and they will
okay,
be having like two interviews. One would be like
okay,
like your eligibility test, and other would be like coding interview or technical interview, right?
okay,
And it would be 15-minute one, the technical one, the last one.
okay. What
The
does
first one.
eligibility test mean?
Okay, the eligibility test means like when you fill the application, right? In the application, you have to give some samples and all, and you have to mark like, are you 18 above? Are you in a country which allows working like, and you are not being a child labor and all. Like these type of
Okay,
laws are there. So
okay,
they will
understood.
just verify you are having
Okay,
internet connection. So
okay,
okay, so they will be doing this, and
okay,
in the interview they will be asking you a few questions. Like in the first one, the few questions
okay,
would be like why you want to be a MLH fellow, like
okay,
why you feel like this fellowship would work for you, like these type
okay,
of basic questions.
okay,
It would not contain anything like technical. You will be they will be asking any question, or they will be like what projects you have built. Just give us an overview. It will just to test like you have knowledge about this fellowship, and you know like what you will be doing in this fellowship, so that they
understood.
can move your application to next process.
Okay, so just to repeat and
Mm-hmm.
reiterate so that we have it in
Mm-hmm.
one small gist is, so there are two parts to the application. One is actually writing the application. Yeah, for all the tracks, you should be very serious. First of all, 100%, give your 100% to the application. There are two parts. One is eligibility. Second part is actual the technical round. In technical also there are multiple rounds. First of all, they'll check your behavioral aspects, like why do you want to be a MLH fellow, what have you done so far, and then basically the technical part. Is that correct?
Yeah, the technical round, that would be a single round. It not what it would not be like a company taking DSA test. It would
Okay.
be just
Okay.
the code sample you presented us, just explain that only.
Got it. Got it. Seems like a good application process to me. So, moving on to the next question. So, how do I prepare for the two rounds and the entire process? So, how should I
Okay.
prepare my profile, and when should I start preparing for this profile?
Okay, so MLH do prefer profiles based on their past contributions, right? Because
Okay.
we will contributing in open source, so they prefer like who candidates who have like past contributions in it. And
Okay.
other thing is like if you don't have like past contributions, you should be like having a good knowledge about best coding practices, like how your code
Okay.
should be indented and modular, and all these things should be there, right?
Okay.
uh, the other thing would be like if you are having a special kind of achievement, or if your interest or like we also they also hire on the basis of diversity, like they prefer diversity, so they prefer people from different regions, and they want to know like how we will bring diversity and inclusion in MLH if you are in.
Understood. Understood.
Mm.
So, okay. And on the follow as a follow up on this question, like when is it a good time to start building my profile for this fellowship?
Okay, so for good time, basically this fellowship is run three times a year, right? There will be three batches. So you can
Okay.
apply in the January, for the January batch. Then there is a July batch, and then there is one like in October batch,
Okay.
like summer, spring, and
Okay.
fall. And the thing is, like the good time, the we just tell the applicants that apply near about 2 months before, because they will be having a first come first serve process, and they will be having a lot of application. They will be like 30,000 across or applications, so it would be kind like if it would be best that you apply 2 months before.
Okay. Okay, understood. So the application
Because
should start at least 2 months ago. So if I may ask, like
Mhm.
I have to build my profile as well. To get selected, I have to have a strong profile, right? So how much
Okay.
time did you take for that? Like it would take
Mhm.
years, right? It's not going to happen overnight. So how much time did you take, and what is your piece of advice for the students out there or the professional out there to get started on? What should be the good
Okay,
starting point as well?
so the best advice I can give everyone is like everyone is like we should do open source, we should do like DSA, or we should do this. Try to do this thing in numbers. Like you should be doing three your resume should be having like three opportunities, or your resume should be having two open source contributions, some great competitions or DSA thing you have done. Like build your
Okay.
resume like this and
Okay.
prepare accordingly, because if your resume contains a good amount of practical knowledge, not the
Okay.
DSA part, because this fellowship is completely dependent on what your skills are.
Understood. Understood. So basically, what you're saying is focus on impact so that you can showcase that impact to this fellowship. And in fact, to build on the same point, I'll say this impact part is applicable throughout the industry. I can vouch for this for good companies like Microsoft, Facebook, Google. They look for impact. They look for people who have done something and understand the meaning of doing that process. So I think it makes sense, right? So moving on to the next part of the application process itself. So how do we ace the essay writing part?
Okay, for this particular question, I would just say I had dropped like a couple of points like how you can build your essays, because we are having some behavioral essays, and there will be some code sample essays. In
Do you
code
want
sample
me to
essay,
share the screen?
okay, I can give an overview of that. You can share my screen now.
Okay. Yes.
Uh, okay. These are this is a repository where I had like kept some general points like how your essays should be like your answer should not be first of all vague, like you are answering vague like I'm a motivated enthusiastic person. Like it doesn't make sense like why you want to be a military fellowship because of your motivation. It's just if you say like you want to be kind of you like the environment which MLH brings in, like the type of learning, the opportunities it is giving. That's how it makes sense more. So it's kind
Okay.
of like you should be more specific. Then we are having like couple of code sample essays where you will be telling like which features your project is having, and it should not be like you are explaining the complete social motives. We prefer that like MLH fellowship prefers that if a candidate is having like social motives, like it is a brownie point, but also explain like how your code is, like how the functional
Okay.
flow is.
Understood.
So
Understood.
it is kind of like you have to like bring the boats in. And then there is like what you learn, because basically it's when you are doing retrospective and like daily stand-ups and all, you will be telling like what was your blockers, what you will be doing next day, what you will be doing, like what you had done. So it's kind of they want to know like what skills you learn, like what are your observation you made during learning. So
Okay.
like you can, and feel free to write problems, like make your essays as genuine as possible. It's not like if you are saying like I did not face any problem while doing this, say them like if you faced any problem you did that thing, and then you know like how you solved that thing.
Okay. I
Make the
think in
things
fact,
very genuine. Mhm.
writing and so facing problems is in inherent part of the problem or inherent part of the solution building. And if you are able to convey that well, so
Mhm.
you are able to justify, or the person in front of you understand and know that you will be facing problems. Day to day job will have a lot of
Exactly.
problems, and if you are able to convey that, he will be able to relate, and he will be able to trust that you will be able to overcome those problems when you have to, when you will face that in real project scenario. So I think it will add positives to your profile
Yeah,
instead of the negatives. So don't mind sharing your problems, don't mind sharing how did you overcome that. It makes us human and
yes.
it makes us better. Yes, please
Yes,
go ahead.
exactly. Then we are having like star STR technique, which I basically follows for my essays, like a situation, task, action, and result. It is basically like which situation I faced, then which task I did, and the actions taken by me, and like what happened. In. Like you can search like how this technique works when you are answering these type of questions.
Hmm.
So these are now non-technical questions like why you want to be MLH fellow. I already like said inspiration, motive, and basically when I answer these kind of questions like why you want to be this, for I answer three things. The first is inspiration, then motivation, and I have the experience for the same.
Okay,
So
makes
this is
sense.
how you can answer these type of questions. Then as I said earlier, like MLH loves diversity hiring, so like it loves like diversity community. So you have to like tell like how you will be bringing up the diversity and inclusion, like if MLH selects you. So it's
Okay,
open to all. It's just you have to like be confident, like if I'm learning from this I will be like spreading it to all, or like how you will be like helping others by getting this MLH fellowship, because they also this is like you. And the other
understood.
thing is anything else we should know about you, and that's just a brownie question I say. Like most of the people don't answer it, but I will say like you should answer it. Like if the world limit is 250, fill 250. It's kind of that. Tell your achievements, tell your community work, tell your academic performance, tell everything. It's kind of like you have to pitch for yourself in this particular question. So
Understood.
this is
So
hmm.
yeah, okay. So I'll just try to brief what she said,
Hmm.
and in fact, whatever she said is very relevant, not just for MLH, for everywhere else as well. So there are multiple parts to the essay questions part. One is the essay question itself. Then second is coding sample, and third is non-technical technical part where you tell or sell yourself. Now for the first part, essay, uh, and the second part as well, try to answer the questions in STAR format. It's a very well-known format that you use for any behavioral question. STAR format is S situation, T task, A action, R result. So, what was the situation? Why did you do this? The situation explains why did you do this. T was what did you do? Task. Action, how did you do it? And result, what happened after doing it? So, always try to think or formulate your behavioral question in this format. And utilize this format, whatever Hargun shared with us. Utilize this format for every behavioral question, be it a mock interview session or an actual interview with the good companies like Amazon, Facebook, Google. All these companies have behavioral rounds, so utilize this. And in fact, if you prepare for this MLH fellowship application, you are preparing for these companies already. So I think even if you are not interested, or you're worried about not getting selected, you should at least try and apply for this fellowship, so that you reach, or you are prepared for situation like these. And I really liked your approach of tell us about yourself, or why should you be hired. And in fact, even I will try to apply that in my next question. If, let's say, if I apply somewhere, every company will ask you, why do you want to be a Googler, why do you want to join Facebook, why
Yeah,
do you want
tell
to
them
join
this.
Microsoft.
I have this person as an inspiration. I have a motivation, like I want to be in it because I will be teaching students or something. Then I have the experience, like I have the technical skills. I have done this thing. This is the thing I like. I'll answer it like I am.
Definitely. So yeah, I think this answers the questions pretty well. And what we will do is, I'll share the link of this GitHub repository in the description below, along with more resources. Don't forget to check that out later. So I think, although you have already answered this question, but I'll just like to reiterate, because this is a very catchy and the most important part as well. What kind of opportunities do you get, be during MLH fellowship
Okay.
and after MLH fellowship?
Okay, so during MLH fellowships, like we get to interact with the companies, their maintainers, their EMs. We get to network with great companies. Like we can like now have referrals for any particular company we can apply. Like we are working with now. Also, like MLH provides you with the jobs and internships. So if you are good in that particular round, your resume would be passed to the companies itself. Like your resume would be passed to Adobe, Facebook, or any company they are having. So it's a kind of a boon. Like you don't need to be in a process, the complete process. You don't.
Okay,
And the other thing, the opportunity, obviously the stipend. They are giving a lump sum stipend of 5,000 USD, and they also then prefer you for other opportunities. Like you will be having a coaches program, you will be having a pod leader program. Then MLH fellows are preferred over there also.
okay.
So
So
yeah.
overall, seems like a very good opportunity. You will be introduced to a lot of companies like likes of Facebook, Google, Adobe, AWS, which is Amazon, GitHub,
Mhm.
all these top tech companies. You'll get direct referrals. And here we're not talking about normal referrals. We are talking about reaching, or making your profile reach the desk of the hiring manager directly.
Yeah, it
So
is.
you're skipping all the lines, which is recruiter, then first referral, then recruiter, then online assessment and all that. You're directly reaching to the desk of the hiring manager. So it seems like a very good. Uh, I think beat a lot of. You don't have to beat any bushes around the process. So you directly get access to the hiring manager, and it seems like a
Yeah,
very good
exactly.
bonus for me.
Yeah, and the
And yeah,
technical interview is just 15 minutes. You just explain your things in 15 minutes. You don't need to be like learning more things. Just explain what your project is. Just explain the code it is. Give them a code walkthrough. Nothing else. Like that's it for the
nice.
technical one.
See, I think if if we have to compare, if the percentage of getting selected in a good company like Google or Facebook is 5% outside, it's 95 from the inside.
Yeah,
This
it
is
is.
what I think.
It
So
is
obviously it's
because
a good.
getting an opportunity from GitHub and two from GitHub USA team. Like you are working with the mainframe team. Then it's
Nice,
a kind of great thing for me.
nice.
Like
So at last, I'll just want to ask your overall experience. You seem pretty happy, although to me, but just want to repeat your last few in your experience in
okay.
one or two more lines. Overall
Mhm.
experience. How did you like MLH fellowship, and what is, yeah,
Okay, so for me, like I had done twice MLH fellowship. I was first a pre-fellow and then a like a software engineering track fellow, from which
okay,
I got the GitHub internship, and then for I will say like it's the best because you will be getting a stipend, you will be getting your learning resources, you will be getting a buddy, anything like anything you want, you will be getting that. Even like after the fellowship, you will be getting opportunities. Even for the like pre-fellow and prep batches, your resume would be passed to the companies. If any of them likes, then you will be called for the interviews and all. So it's kind of a boon for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
also
and
mhm.
yes, yes, please go ahead.
Okay, so I just wanted to say one thing. Like, for me, it was a great feeling. Like contributing to GitHub Actions. Like, I had contributed to that. It is a tool which is used by like millions of users. So now I can say like I have contributed to something which is working. So it's a great feeling itself.
Definitely, and I can totally resonate and relate to that feeling for sure. So, at last, I'll just like to give any last piece of advice that you have. Share any last thought that you have.
Okay, so the last piece of advice for students, it would be just like study well, apply before, like if you apply before like 2 months and all, don't hurry. Like some candidates, what they do, they see the application is open, they fill it right away and send it. Go for a review for someone who has done this fellowship. Go for a application review and then take your time. And I will say like apply before 2 months. Why? Because pipeline is like vacant, so your application process generally gets fastened. One more thing was there that if you apply for pre-fellowship batch before or a prep batch before, so you don't have to give the eligibility test again for the full-time fellowships.
Okay.
Your application would be moved directly to the technical round. So it's kind of
Okay.
like you do the three interviews for the like the same full-time fellowships.
Okay. Understood.
So
So, just to wrap up, like I think overall it was pretty good talking to Hargun, and thank you so much for coming live with us, sharing and giving us your time. And overall, it seems like a pretty exciting fellowship and track for me. Even if I had to switch from a service based to product based, or basically if I had been a student and it had been a fellowship kind of thing was there during my time, I would have applied, definitely would have applied for this fellowship. And so thank you so much. And for all the viewers that we have, please subscribe to our channel, and I'll share Hargun's channel as well. You can go and check out more things
yeah,
from her channel. She shares a lot of information about open source contribution and especially MLH fellowship. So don't forget to check out. I'll share the link in the description below. So thank you so
mm,
much, and don't forget to subscribe and press that bell icon. Thank you.
okay,
Bye bye.
cool.